Welcome back to Explore This. Now, we just talked about Exuma's Bahamas, but now if you don't want to go international and go to Bahamas, Kinga, off the coast of the Bahamas is a dive destination a little closer to home that you've been to that you highly recommend. So where is it?
Off the coast of Florida, in Jupiter, Florida, is an outfit called Shark Addicts, and I had the pleasure of going out with them for a show I was working on. And you go out of the port, you basically go out a couple miles to sea, and you get in the water, and we were surrounded by silky sharks, by sandbar sharks.
Oh, wow.
There was a bull shark.
And this is in Florida.
This is Florida.
Yeah.
Florida is like the shark capital of the world. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
And this Shark Addicts is a great outfit. They have highly trained divers like Kova Scott, who went out with us, who is also part of Shark Allies.
Great.
She's incredible. We were filming there and we brought a gal, put her in the water. She had never been anywhere near a shark. And her first response was, oh, hell no.
Oh my
no.
gosh, yeah.
And I was holding on to her the whole time. We had silky sharks around us, and I always laugh. That's the species of shark that has no personal space. They literally come and they put their nose on you. And you do have to be careful because sharks don't have hands.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, let me test you. So you push them down and away, kept doing this. And then we had the bull shark. He stayed a little bit lower. We had the sandbar sharks, which are really identifiable and beautiful because they have this huge dorsal fin. And our gal got out of the water and she was like, I am a fan of sharks for life.
I love that. And it seems like most people who have that experience, you would know better than I, they go in afraid of sharks and then they leave changed.
Sure, because what the media tells you about sharks and the actual experience is night and day. So we were really thrilled to get out there with Shark Addicts, see so many sharks in the water. It made my little heart happy. But Florida overall.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, I was going to ask you, I have been to Florida so many times on family vacations from my childhood. We were in West Palm Beach area, which Jupiter is near West Palm Beach, right?
Yes.
I had no idea that there could be so much shark action or dives that we could do right off the coast of Florida.
Yeah, Florida's amazing. I've been going to Florida since I was a kid. Like, I have photos of me as a little kid in the Florida Keys, and to me it was so exotic.
You know,
I was
you're
like,
gonna have to dig those up for this.
oh yeah, I think I put them on Instagram.
Get ready for those.
I will. Lots of Florida pics. It was our exotic destination. We had, you know, the smell of orange blossoms, like, is so nostalgic for me. Horseshoe crabs everywhere. That ocean water, like, it is. Florida is the most tropical that you can get in the continental U.S. and feel like you are in a paradise. And that is the Gulf Coast beaches. That is the Atlantic beaches. That is the Florida Keys, which are the dreamiest. So I'm a Florida fan.
I am gonna go to Jupiter and go diving with sharks now. Because I love diving with sharks. So you've inspired me over the years to become a shark conservationist or, you know, advocate. And I never have had Florida on my radar for shark diving.
Really?
Yeah.
But you have had Florida on your radar.
Yeah,
and
because of Disney and Miami and all these. But yes, I have had Florida on my radar.
Both very cool, by the way, Disney and Miami. And also one of the coolest national parks in the nation, Everglades National Park, is holy moly, mind-boggling, phenomenal. And for a nature nerd like me, I'm like, oh wow, alligators and crocodiles in the same place, pumas and black bears. Tell me more. Yeah,
so I was gonna say that I had a recent trip to Miami within the last couple of years that changed my perspective of Miami. Most people look at Miami as nightlife, partying, restaurants, bars.
Really good Cuban food.
Really good Cuban food. I did an entire trip that was based solely on outdoor adventure in Miami.
What'd you do?
Okay, so one of the things I did for the first time ever, I went sailing where I sailed my own sailboat. I went with a nonprofit organization called Shake a Leg. And again, the nonprofit, the part of the entry fee or the cost of that goes to the nonprofit organization, where they take veterans and help them sail to get through PTSD. So I did it alone, you know, with their guide. And we did it around Coconut Grove sailing. Have you ever been sailing on your own?
Not on my own, but I have to, there's a lot of work and a lot of lingo.
So it was, I learned how to sail, had a beautiful time sailing in you know, the Coconut Grove area, in the Miami land area, seeing the Miami skyline, and had a blast. It was a great workout, beautiful outdoor adventure.
Amazing.
It was great. What you talked about earlier, Everglades National Park is only about a 45-minute drive outside of Miami, which I don't think many people realize. I wish as a kid, we went to Everglades National Park more than we went to Universal or to Disney. It is an amusement park of nature.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you did that as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, going on those airboats is such an adrenaline-inducing, pumping adventure that is so much fun.
It is.
And then
amazing.
seeing the alligators is amazing. You get up so close to those alligators, and they do it in a safe way where the airboats do get close, the alligators do come up, but there's never any time where I felt unsafe.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you did your first Everglades kind of airboat trip?
I was single digits.
Oh my
I loved
gosh.
it. I loved it. Florida's just cool. You've got manatees and
Yeah.
you've got the karst topography. So you've got all the springs and you've got the Everglades and the airboats and stand-up paddleboard. Like it is a nature lover's paradise.
Yeah. So, I mean, Everglades National Park, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Both Kinga and I do. In addition to that, in Miami land, there's other outdoor adventures that I absolutely recommend. You've been kayaking before,
Yep.
correct? Okay. So have you been kayaking at night when the sun sets behind the Miami skyline and then the skyline lights up with all the lights in the buildings?
No.
Yes. So I did that, and it was a magical, beautiful, like almost tranquil kind of adventure, you know? We paddled out. You know, we used a company, Virginia Key Park is where we got the operator out of. And we paddled out, we let the sun set, and I'm telling you, watching the lights turn on and then the skyline glimmer on the water and the reflection of the skyline is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a way to enjoy Miami and the Miami skyline in a totally different way than just seeing it from the road or seeing it
Sure.
from the actual city. So I highly recommend putting that on your list.
Oh, I love all of that.
Yeah.
I love that you love Florida as much as I love Florida.
I do. I love the outdoors part of Florida, and I think there's so much outdoor adventure there. And even on top of that, another adventure, I know, have you done stand-up paddleboarding?
I have, and in Florida.
Yeah. So they have, where did you do it in Florida?
We did it on some kind of a lake system that was really, really stunning. And you go through like almost like these old channels and these locks, and you just come out to these beautiful lily pad covered lakes.
Amazing.
Really beautiful.
I did them in a maze of mangroves.
Oh,
And it
mangroves
was
are amazing
It
habitats.
was an adventure too. I kept asking myself, am I in Florida? Like, where am I? Like, we were stand-up paddleboarding through these mangroves. At some point, we had to like bend down and get on our knees to go under them and through them. And it was a maze. That was just such a fun adventure to do that in Florida, where I didn't even know that existed. Not only in Florida, but so close to Miami.
Yeah.
Miami has so many amazing outdoor adventures in such a short drive away. And of course, if you go to Miami, you have to go to the beach.
I
The
love
beaches
beaches.
there, the watercolor. I mean, comparing Miami beaches to LA beaches, they're night and day in terms of the watercolor. We got that, you know, that gorgeous brown here.
Yeah. It's cold, but it's beautiful.
It's cold, but it's beautiful. And I'm not complaining. I love LA beaches, but the sand and the blues of the Miami beaches are such a different environment. And it's something that you have to do when you go to Miami. And I highly recommend checking out the beaches in Miami too.
Yeah.
Have you been to Miami?
I have been to Miami
Okay.
many, many times. Florida is a paradise for the outdoors and outdoor lovers. So
Yeah.
from the time I was a kid to being a total grown up, I am a sucker for Florida.
Yeah.
Big fan.
And I have to say, you were talking about earlier how you brought someone for a show into the water with sharks. Your show, Finding Adventure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Finding Adventure, when you take people out of their comfort zone, someone who might be watching and asking like, swimming with sharks, or doing, you know, that stand-up paddleboarding, or anything we've talked about, somebody who might be apprehensive about it, how would you encourage them to take that risk like you do with the people on your show?
You know, when we take people out for the show, they're coming with us and also the outfitter. But sourcing a really responsible, safety conscious outfitter like Shark Addict, like the people that you went out with, like the people that we went kayaking with manatees with, that is the most important part, because they are going to make sure that you are safe. They are going to give you all this amazing backstory and information, and they're going to help ensure that you have a great time.
Yeah.
So getting the right outfitter is super important.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just dive in, just do it.
Just dive in. And then my last question is, everyone who is afraid to do something on your show, that they then do it, what's their takeaway?
People are thrilled. Like, a comfort zone is different for every single person,
Yeah.
and finding adventure is different for every single person.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that people end up doing, they are delighted with themselves because it's a big confidence booster.
Yeah.
And that goes for everybody. That goes for everyone in the audience. You know,
Yeah.
get out there, have some fun.
Yeah, great.